Alright, so before I explain how to do a consistent void war setup, I need to explain the collision work, how the collision work. So in this game in Star Trek Pick 1, collision work is check each 2 frame. It's not actually technically true because each frame it check collision, but it check different collision. One uneven frame or odd frame, it check enemies hitbox, and the other one, it check projectile hitbox. Which is why when you try a void war setup before, it was a 50-50. You didn't know which frame you on, and you need the correct one for it to work. So, yeah. So the way to make it work now is simply to get hit, because if you get hit, you actually know on which frame you are, even or odd frame. And so you get hit, and you buffer a jump while you're stunned. So you will always jump on the frame, on the same frame, well, or the different frame, but you need that you know you are on. So you pause, buffer a jump, and then you can land on whatever enemies or projectile. If you are getting hit by a projectile and need to land on enemies, you don't need to do anything, it's gonna work. If you are on a projectile and need to land on a projectile, you actually gonna need to pause once. And when I say pause, it's pause and unpause, buffer a pause, buffer an unpause, and it's gonna change the value by 1. So you can switch between landing on projectile or landing on enemies at will now, which is good. And you can also, if you need, it's one of the setup right now, if you need, for example, from a projectile to an enemies, you can buffer a pause twice if you need to change direction mid-air for some reason or etc. Etc. 2, 4, 6. So I'm gonna show an example with the scissor bend. Alright, so what I just did is, at the start I put myself in a certain position when I pose when I am on the corner, because I need to jump up left perfectly, and if I just jump right away I might go up by 1 frame before jumping, which is bad. So I pose, I buffer a jump to the left, then I pose be there to release all the directional input, so I land and I don't move, and I wait to get hit. When I get hit, like I said, it's a projectile, so I jump right away after the stun, then I pose right away. I buffer an unpose and I buffer another pose because I need 1 extra frame to move forward, then move right to land on the perfect position of the scissor bend. So, like I said, from a projectile to enemies, I need to pose twice. So after the 1 frame I wait, I unpose again to the right. So that's how you can do it for this one. Also, from this dungeon as well, you can do it. Well, now is this from an enemies to an enemies. I pose it 3 times there because the first pose, I'm still 1 frame too low, because I need to go down, I need to move up 1 frame more before I go down to get hit again by this guy. So I pose buffer another frame forward, then unpose to go down, then because it's enemies on enemies, I need either 1 frame, 3 frame, 1 pose, 3 pose, 5 pose, etc. So I need to do an extra pose randomly when going down, then to be able to get hit by him. So yeah, you can skip this part as well now. That's wonderful. So yeah, was pretty fun to discover. Anyway,